There's an old saying in the construction world, measure twice, cut once. And today we're going to be applying those same sound principle design decisions when we weigh the pros and cons of some of these more high maintenance design choices. Now, I want you to keep in mind that these choices that we're going to talk about today are not necessarily bad choices, especially if you love them, but they do require more maintenance than traditional design decisions. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Ashley. I'm your virtual color consultant and decorator, and my job is to help you design a home you love. Glass pendants always make a statement, and I really like using them for kitchens that have lower ceilings. So if you're someone that has an 8-foot ceiling, I think they are great because they don't crowd the ceiling. However, they do fall under the category of high maintenance. Here's why. The amount of dust, you cannot imagine the amount of dust that quickly accumulates in these things. Bugs make their way in there, and the glass really very quickly appears foggy. And most of these are really such a pain to clean on any type of reoccurring basis. So if you are someone that has lower ceilings, you don't want to feel like the walls are caving in on you when you put up pendants in the kitchen, the best thing that I have for you is a pendant light that looks something like this, to where it's maintenance free, you don't have to clean any glass, and you still kind of achieve the same goal there. Along the same lines as glass pendants, unfortunately, for those of us that love the style of glass coffee tables or side tables, those are really high maintenance design decisions. If you have ever owned one of these, you know that keeping them fingerprint or smudge free is practically a full-time job, especially if you have kids or pets. I say approach this design decision with caution and consider the application before you commit. If you really want to put a glass top table in your formal living room, a room that you don't really use as much, and it's a room where kids or pets maybe not frequent too often, that might be something you can pull off. Now, if you are watching this and you are contemplating a glass top dining table, I would absolutely approach that with caution. Even if you don't have kids or pets, these are just really impossible to keep looking clean and streak-free. White farmhouse sinks continue to be popular. I personally love them, but sadly, speaking from experience, they are a high maintenance, very high maintenance design decision. So it shows dirt, grime, grease very easily. It also scratches really easily. Now, of course, there's products that you can use to clean your sink and get rid of scratches, and most of those do typically restore the sink to their former glory. You're not going to really see those scratches. However, they come back very quickly. So what I do recommend, especially if you are just set on a white farmhouse sink, you're okay with the maintenance of it, you're okay with having to clean it 1 to 2, maybe 3 times a week to keep it in that pristine white condition, get a grate for the bottom of your sink. This helps with scratches, and weirdly, this also camouflages how dirty the sink is. It's like it distracts your eye. I'm always a little shocked when I take that grate off to clean the sink at how dirty my sink actually is, but that's a little tip if you are just dead set on this high maintenance design decision. Another high maintenance design choice in the kitchen is not having enough upper cabinets or completely foregoing upper cabinets altogether. While I love the thought process here, this idea taken too far falls a little flat the moment you realize that you don't have enough storage in your lower cabinets to store things that you would normally store in your upper cabinets. Some things like glasses, coffee mugs, wine and cocktail glasses. Some people even store their medicine in their upper cabinets, your extensive Yeti or Stanley collection. The list goes on and on. Now, if you are set on removing most of your upper cabinetry, adding in mostly drawers over doors with your lower cabinets is typically the storage solution to maximize storage in your kitchen. And I have found things like plates and bowls. I love storing those in drawers. However, it has been my experience that finding a spot for everything else that I just mentioned, your cups, your wine glasses, all of that, gets pretty tricky when you don't have a lot of upper cabinets, and they do quickly take up a lot of space. Now, another thing to think about, because a lot of people say, well, I will just simply replace my upper cabinets with some open shelving. A lot of the items that are typically reserved for cabinets are not aesthetically pleasing enough for most people to store on open shelving, and it quickly looks cluttered. You feel like you have to have a curated mug and glass collection, and it's just something that's just a little hard to pull off. If you are really set on getting rid of most of your upper cabinetry, the best thing that I could tell you to do besides adding more drawers than doors is to assign a spot for every single thing in your kitchen. Be realistic about how much storage space you're losing by eliminating those cabinets and find storage solutions with the cabinets that you do have now in your kitchen. Open shelving in kitchens is something I hinted that we would be talking about. People either love this idea or they hate it. Now, I can get behind open shelving because one, I love a good shelf to style, and two, it does help smaller kitchens look larger because you are eliminating a lot of that bulk from the upper cabinetry when you swap those with open shelves. However, this is a high maintenance design decision, and here's why. Grease is going to quickly collect in your kitchen, as is dust. And so anything that lives on these open shelves are really prone to being dirty fairly often. Now, if you're going to stack items like plates or cups, this is great because you're going to be cleaning those fairly regularly. However, if you are going to use the open shelves mostly for decor, you will find that you need to clean those fairly often. If you've ever seen these gorgeous photos of kitchens with ample open shelving, you'll notice that the items on the shelf are perfectly organized and arranged. Nothing like what most of the inside of everyone's cabinets look like. So if you're someone that is okay with curating your shelves and keeping them that way, I say go for this. However, if this sounds a little too unrealistic for you, you might want to reconsider. Now, before I share the next high maintenance design decision, I want to thank this week's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for anyone who wants to be creative, with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, interior design, freelance, productivity, and more. If you're like me and you love learning something new, Skillshare can help you take your career, side hustles, skills, hobbies, or passions to the next level. Of course, we love to talk interior design on this channel, and if you love learning all there is to know about creating a beautiful home, you'll enjoy diving into Skillshare's classes on caring for indoor plants, floral design, interior design basics, sewing, gardening, and so much more. Now, we just talked a lot about high maintenance design choices you can make in a kitchen, and if you are someone that wants to know more about this, because you are getting ready to design a kitchen renovation of your own or building for the first time, you are going to love Skillshare's class on how to design your dream kitchen. There's over 40 lessons going over everything from layouts to hard surfaces to even storage solutions. You will feel like a pro after this class. So if you're ready to make your home more beautiful using the skills that you can learn inside the Skillshare community, the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can get started today. The open concept movement has certainly ebbed and flowed in popularity for decades. People either love this idea, they're huge proponents of it, or they cannot stand the thought of it. So if you are considering an open concept layout, perhaps for a renovation or a new build, it's a great idea to take stock in how you and your family operate before you make this high maintenance design decision. You want to consider things like your personal preferences for cleanliness, noise control, and privacy. If you watched my video on new construction trends that I put out late in the fall, I will link that below. You know already that open concept is basically on steroids. The idea of just having the kitchen open up to one living space that you can easily entertain is a really long gone, and now it's like when you walk in the front door, you have a full view of everything. So if you're someone that doesn't mind seeing a mess, you don't want cozier spaces, and you don't need privacy for work purposes, this might be something that you should consider. However, if you don't enjoy eating with friends or family while you have the view of the kitchen where you just made a huge mess in, or you don't like that feeling of constantly feeling like you must pick up everything so that your home doesn't look chaotic, a fully open concept space might not be for you. In my opinion, the best of both worlds is to have an open concept kitchen that opens up to one living or entertaining space, and then have more defined spaces where you can host a meal, read a book, or just do some work with some peace and quiet. There is no denying it, black plumbing fixtures are very trendy right now. However, these are high maintenance, especially if you have hard water, because they do very quickly show soap scum and calcium deposits, and these can quickly ruin the look of those really pretty matte black plumbing fixtures. Hands down, one of the biggest high maintenance design decisions you can make is installing white grout in a shower. White grout will look good the day it's installed, and that's about it. Grout is very, very hard to keep clean, so if you are going to commit, if you really, really want to commit to white grout, do yourself a favor, spring for the epoxy grout. It is considerably more expensive than traditional grout. However, you will be so frustrated with how dirty your grout looks. Now, if you don't want to spring for epoxy grout, the best advice I could give you is to pick a grout color that resembles the color of sand. This way, when dirt and grime inevitably cling onto the grout, it won't really bug you because it'll just blend right in. Now, if you are looking for other high maintenance bathroom design decisions to avoid, I do have a full video on this, so make sure to check that out and I'll link that down below. Of course, the trend right now with wall color is to go white and paint every single room in your house stark white. I get this. This was the natural reaction of those of us that were really over those cool blue-gray walls. However, white walls are a little bit of a high maintenance design decision because you do have to work extra hard to make them feel cozy. Now, if you're someone that is committed to your white walls, I think that's okay, but do know this. They look best when the white is repeated in the room's fixed elements or decor. Also with a lot of trim work, white is really beautiful. If you've got a large artwork collection, white really helps to have them pop. Or if you're someone that's going to spend a lot on fabrics and bringing in fabrics and texture to your space. In a sense, you must work just a little bit harder to keep those white walls from falling flat and looking too sterile. But if you're committed to those warm white walls, I know you can do it. The finish of matte paint can certainly be beautiful, and it does hide a lot of imperfections when compared to an eggshell or a satin finish. However, if you have kids, if you have messy pets, you will find that this paint is almost impossible to clean and you will be left feeling like you need to repaint your walls. So consider the application when you are thinking about using a matte finish. I tend to recommend eggshell finish for most high traffic areas, solely for the reason that it is easier to clean. However, if you want to use a matte finish in a library, a study, an office, a place where people don't frequent as much, I say go for it. Just think about how much traffic is accumulating in the space where you want to put matte paint before you commit. I get it. We want what we want, and some of us want those dark hardwood floors. Now, personally, I am team medium brown hardwood all the way, but I have seen gorgeous homes with dark brown floors. Here's the kicker though, they are high maintenance. You will be shocked at the amount of dust present on these floors. Now, it's not like these dark hardwoods attract more dust than lighter or medium tone hardwoods. It's just very, very visible, as are scratches. So if you're okay with these two issues, go ahead and install those dark hardwood floors. If you're buying white or off-white or even super pale neutral colored furniture, one of the best things you can do is to take a picture of it the day that you install it, because it will never look that good again. But in all seriousness, unless you plan to put slip covers on this furniture or not allow anyone to sit on this furniture, even if you go with high-end stain-resistant fabric, you just have to be okay with the fact that it is going to show wear and tear much faster than fabric that is a little bit darker and hides stains a little bit better. And while we're on the subject of fabric that really just doesn't age well, if you are planning to put fabric on bar stools or dining chairs, please, 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 please consider darker fabric options for these applications. Now, any chair that you're going to sit in all the time, even if it's high-end fabric, it does pill quicker over time. So something to consider. I love the look of a fabric dining chair. However, I just don't tend to install it too frequently because it is extremely high maintenance and it never looks as good as it does the day you installed it. That wraps up this video of high maintenance design decisions. Again, none of these are bad. They just require a little bit more maintenance. And if you're high maintenance and you like that, go ahead, go for it. Thanks for watching, everyone.